Thanks for clicking on the video. My name's Tom Alsop, and today I'm going to share with you the most common error I see from amateur players when they're hitting serves. And that is trying to stretch up as high as they can to the contact point. You don't want to be doing that. I'm going to show you what you should be doing in this video. So I've been coaching for like 20 years or so, obviously work with thousands of people, and I would say that over 50% of people, when serving, are on their way down as they're striking the ball. Now, if you're a coach, I would love to get your input on this. Is this something that you come across a lot? Are there any tips you have to fix it? And if you're a player, watch yourself on video and see if you're doing the same thing. So if you're jumping, have you sort of completed your jump and now you're on the way down as you strike the ball? Or if you're a server that actually stays on the ground, are you going up and then kind of dropping back down as you strike it? It's a very common mistake. Now, I believe this error comes about because people are stretching too much, trying to get that contact point as high as they can. So the legs go up and now they're hitting the ball, and the whole kinetic chain, the synchronization of the lower half and the top half is all off. Now, what you need to do is understand that the serve isn't about stretching, it's about rotating. So think about the serve as a rotational shot where you're turning your shoulders this way and then you're rotating them through contact. You won't be able to do this if you're on your way down. So think about this as a throwing motion. And again, the serve is a throw motion, and you wouldn't throw very well if you threw like this, right? You throw by rotating your body. So think about it as a throw. Don't worry about going up. You can master that. You can learn that once you've developed the throwing motion. You can use your legs a little bit more and explode off the floor. And if everything being equal, it's better to serve from 10 foot up than 9 foot up, right? Takes the net out of the equation a little bit more. But even the greatest athletes in the world, say Pete Sampras, who could jump like this high on an overhead, he's only getting like this high on the serve. It's just a little bit extra once you've mastered the serve, but it's going to cause more problems than it's going to help if you're trying to get high and your kinetic chain isn't quite there yet. Now, there are a lot of beginner to intermediate players who aren't fully stretched when they hit, but usually the issue is they're not supinating and pronating. They're not rotating the arm, so they might hit like this, right? So yes, we're trying to get straight at the point of contact, but the way to do that is to make sure that you supinate the arm, right? So the arm is moving in, my thumb is down, and then as I rotate my arm, that's when it's going to straighten. You could do it like this, I guess, from the shoulder, and it not straighten, but it's pretty foolproof to rotate the arm, and that's when you get the arm to extend. So it's just arm rotation. Throw it was behind me. But all I'm doing there is rotating my arm through the shot. That's going to give you enough stretch. So most days when I'm coaching, I don't really jump. I'm just trying to hit a smooth, coordinated serve. I can hit that probably 90% of my power. Now, if I start to use my legs a little bit more, load a little bit and put a bit more energy coming in through my legs, I will naturally come off the ground. Now, that is not the same as jumping and hitting, right? We just want to put a little bit more energy in coming through the legs, and I'll end up jumping off the floor a little bit just because I'm throwing upwards. You know, I'm in this position and I'm throwing up. I'm going to come off the ground, right? But again, it's a natural move. It's not a jump and hit. I'm just using a lot of energy in my legs, and that energy is just taking me off the ground, but it's very different than a jump. Now, obviously, I'm talking a lot about the legs and not being up and on your toes or dropping back to the ground as you hit the ball, but also the top half of your body. What the arm is doing is important for not stretching too. If you are fully stretched like this, you're going to be in a weak position with the wrist, and it's going to be hard to pronate through. You're probably going to use a lot of wrist coming through. So as you strike the ball, you want to be slightly to the inside. With a kick serve, you'll be even more to the inside. But this position is going to be a lot stronger. If I went over there and whacked the fence, I'd want to be like, bam. I wouldn't want to be in this position with my racket pointing straight up to the sky. So once you stretch like that, you're going to be in a position where it's all wrist coming through. Be a little bit lower, feel like that wrist is in a strong position, and that's going to allow you to rotate the arm and pronate. So the problem with being on the way down as you strike the ball is you've lost all the momentum from your legs. You've lost all that energy. You're now on the way back to the ground, hitting a fadeaway jump shot serve. You're not going to get the same amount of power. The other issue is once you start coming back down, you no longer can rotate through the serve. So you'll end up kind of being frozen with your top half of your body, and you'll end up having to use your wrist a lot to move the racket head. So instead of the shoulders being able to rotate, that will be able to happen if you connect the bottom half to the top half. You end up doing these kind of things. So essentially, if you're jumping and you're on the way back down, the kinetic chain is broken. You have legs, wait a second, and then arm. And we need to connect the lower half to the top half so that the kinetic chain moves all the way through the body without any 1 second gap where nothing's happening. So we need to make sure that the legs are connected to the top half of the body and there's a synchronization from legs hit. Even if you're jumping, that's the same thing. What we don't want to be doing is jumping and hitting and having that 2 separate moves. So obviously I can't cover everything in one video, but check out this video on the weight transfer. We do an open stance service motion that really trains the body to transfer the weight from the right leg to the left leg. All of this is important to prevent you from just jumping straight up. We're trying to transfer weight and rotate. From here, if I serve open stance, I have to load this right side, which is great for getting separation, but it's also great for what I'm talking about here, which is to feel like the right side of the body is what's actually doing all the work. And you can keep your feet still, and you can see that I'm loading on my right and I'm transferring to my left at the right time. So it kind of sorts out this timing. Good. Do a real serve. See if you can load that right side without getting too turned. Also, if you're interested in learning how to hit a kick serve, there's a free video in the description below. 19 minutes, everything you need to know on how to hit a kick serve. Thanks for watching.